The Multnomah County Commissioners have approved their 2027 budget in a vote that stretched into the early morning hours. In a 4-to-1 vote, the commissioners approved the balanced $4 billion budget. They say it keeps core health, homelessness, and public safety programs intact while making some cuts they didn't want to make. According to a summary from the county, the proposed budget would have cut 5% from the DA's office, but several amendments restored some of that funding. Despite that, Multnomah County District Attorney Nathan Vasquez claims the finalized budget still cuts $3.5 million from his office. The one no vote to the budget, Commissioner Julia Brim-Edwards, says in a statement the budget preserves some funding for neighborhood safety, but overall it leaves too many gaps and does not deliver the amount of change the community is asking for.